Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl, and I've got my good friend here, Ash. How are you going? How's it going, man?
What's up, Kairos, and thank you so much for having me in your channel.
If you guys think I'm the brawl guy, which I am, Ash is like the brawl guy.
Nah, I just play too much.
He just plays too much, but he's really good.
Play too much.
So last season, he pushed to 30,000 trophies. First player ever to 30,000 trophies. Had an average of over 1,000 trophies for every brawler, and several brawlers were even above that.
Kairos. Not the first player, but like the first North American player.
First North American. Okay, there was one other person somewhere else. We're not talking about them. We're talking about you. But totally crushed it. You feel like you have a really good understanding of which star power really is best for each brawler. Am I right?
Definitely. And because like I pushed every single brawler to at least 1,000 trophies last season.
Dude.
So I have like a lot of experience with pretty much all the brawlers right now in the meta.
Perfect. So guys, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through every single brawler and quickly go over which one is the best star power for each brawler. But before that, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor. Okay, now you guys know I love a good brawl. And no, I'm not talking about Brawl Stars. I'm talking about Badland Brawl. Badland Brawl takes a really cool spin on PvP where you basically try to take down the enemy player by using card combos, managing your mana, and physics. This is literally one of the most unique games I've ever played, and when it first came out a year ago, I actually played it a ton, and I highly recommend it. They recently celebrated their 1-year anniversary, and they've actually made a ton of really cool additions to the game. And whether you've played it before, or you haven't, I definitely think you guys should check it out. I made a very convenient link in the description below to make it easy for you. Now, unlike another Brawl game that I know and love, they've recently added a Brawl Pass, and currently Halloween has taken over Badland Brawl with some of their characters actually turning into pumpkins, which is hilarious. I mean, who doesn't love a bunch of pumpkins getting into a brawl? I wanted to give a huge thank you to Badland Brawl for sponsoring this video. You guys should definitely download it using the link in the description below, because let's be honest, it's time to brawl. Okay guys, we're gonna start off by talking about Shelly, and then we'll make our way up to the legendary brawlers near the end of the video so you guys can have an idea of which brawlers are where in the video. But before that, you guys have absolutely got to go subscribe to Ash over on YouTube. He creates some fantastic video content, and he also streams on Gamely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I got links for that, both of those in the description below. Okay, Shelly. We got Shell Shock, slows enemy players down, and we got Band-Aid, which heals her after 40% health. Which one is best for Shelly?
So pretty much any 3v3 game mode you want to use Shell Shock in, that slowdown is just so good for control. Whereas Band-Aid, the only mode I would ever consider using Band-Aid would be solo showdown, duo showdown, or even like takedown.
Let's move on to Nita. Either Bear with Me, recovering HP, and the bear does as well, or Hyper Bear, where her attacks faster.
Overall, I would say Bear with Me, just because it just has a lot more utility to it. You can do more, you can stay alive.
Colt. Slick Boots increases movement speed, or Magnum Special increases range and bullet speed.
So personally, I like Slick Boots more, and I feel like it's underrated. Allows you to juke shots, you know, dodge those shots easier, and you can do more. That way, there's more skill involved. Whereas Magnum Special would be, you know, preferably better for open maps. Takedown is Colt's best mode, so you definitely want to use Slick Boots in that game mode.
We got Bull now with either Berserker, which increases his reload speed, or Tough Guy, which shields him, both below 40%.
So overall, Tough Guy is just better pretty much everywhere, except I would consider Heist. I would consider using Berserker because, you know, that double reload when his HP is below 40% just helps so much.
Now we got Jessie with Energize, where she heals her turret, or Shocky, where the turret bounces shots.
So personally, I almost never use Shocky. Like, the only time I would use it is like Robo Rumble, big game, right? But Energize is just so much better, pretty much any 3v3 game mode.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like Energize is like a high trophy star power, whereas Shocky is good like below 500 trophies. Brock. We got Incendiary, where the rocket explodes and deals damage, or Rocket number 4, where he has a 4th rocket.
Incendiary, in my opinion, is overall better, especially right now and after all those buffs it's been getting. Especially at high trophies, you know, for pros it's much better because you can use it to zone, and zoning is such a great strategy.
Dynamite. Okay, Dyna Jump, where he obviously jumps, and Demolition, where you got an additional 1,000 damage from his super.
Right, so like the only modes I would consider using Demolition would be Siege or Heist or any map where like Mortis is almost never used. For a skilled player, Jump is like almost always better.
Some people are so good with it. I'm like, how did he just what?
Right,
what?
right. You see some ridiculous replays. Like, on Twitter
Seriously. Bo. We got Circling Eagle increases his view range in bushes, or Snare Bear, which stuns them for 2 seconds.
So Snare Bear is really, really good. And I think it might be even better in like lower trophies where players aren't that great at triggering the mine without getting stunned. But Circling Eagle is very underrated in my opinion, especially maps that are very bushy.
Next, we've got Tick. Ooh, I'm interested about this one. Well Oiled, where he starts recovering health faster, or Automatic Reload, where his reload time is 10% shorter. What do you think?
This is a really controversial one, probably the hardest to answer. But personally, I would prefer Well Oiled. The quicker you regen, obviously, the more you can attack, right? Not only that, any map where Tick is good, you're also going to face opposing Ticks. And against those Ticks, Well Oiled is just better for countering them, because you can use, you can regen faster from their damage.
Let's talk about 8-Bit then. We got Boosted Booster increasing his turret's range versus Extra Life, where he gets an extra life.
So I feel like Boosted Booster is just really underrated, especially at low trophies probably, because most people just want an extra life, right? But
yeah,
for high trophies or competitive play, I feel like Boosted Booster you should always go with, especially 3v3, any 3v3 game mode. The only game modes you want to consider using extra life are solo modes, all the solo modes actually.
Now let's talk about El Primo. We got El Fuego, where enemy targets that get hit by his super take burn damage for 4 seconds, or Meteor Rush, where he gets that speed boost for 4 seconds.
At this point, I would almost never consider using Meteor Rush anywhere other than Brawl Ball. Whereas El Fuego, that additional damage is going to be very good for Siege. It's going to be great for Heist.
Barley. This will be interesting here. Medical use, where he regains health for every attack, or Extra Noxious, where he deals more damage with every attack.
It's really balanced between the two, but if I had to choose, I would go with medical use, just because that ability to heal yourself per shot and just continue to assert pressure, you can do a lot more.
Okay, let's talk about Poco. Starting with Decapo, where he can heal friendly teammates, or Screeching Solo, where he can deal damage with his super.
So this is very map dependent and also comp dependent. Decapo is super underrated, especially if you're using the tanky comp, if you're using Poco with a Rosa or a Primo. Also, if the map is very open, right? If the map has very little walls, whereas for Screeching Solo, you want to use that in maps with either a lot of walls, or if you're using a comp that doesn't really have tanks.
Next we got Rosa with Plant Life, where she heals when she's in a bush, or Thorny Gloves, where she deals extra damage during her super.
I almost always use Plant Life. Thorny Gloves is a little underrated, but at the same time not the best. I guess the main mode that you want to use Thorny Gloves is Siege. Plant Life would be better for a controlled map with a lot of bushes.
Rico. We got Super Bouncy with extra damage for bouncing shots, and Robo Retreat, where he runs 30% or 34% faster when he falls below a certain HP. Right. Which do you find to be more useful?
Robo Retreat is so much fun, but the only one you want to use for Robo Retreat would be like Brawl Ball. In Takedown, you could also use Rico with Robo Retreat because, like I said, going from point A to point B is pretty essential. But Super Bouncy, you want to use pretty much everywhere else, every other map.
So overall, you'd probably say Super Bouncy then?
Yes, overall Super Bouncy.
Then we got Daryl with Steel Hoops, where he does damage reduction, and Rolling Reload, where he increases his reload speed.
Yeah, so Rolling Reload got a rework, and I'm still pretty skeptical about it. I don't really use it much. I have tested it a little, but overall, I have to go with Steel Hoops pretty much everywhere.
We got Penny up next, either Last Blast with the extra blast barrage of bombs, or Balls of Fire.
Alright, so Last Blast is just, it's dangerous, but there's RNG involved, there's a luck factor, and in high level play, I feel like Balls of Fire pretty much everywhere is better. Even like in Siege, even if Last Blast does some damage to the turret, overall, Balls of Fire is just better because of the zoning capability.
Okay, let's talk about Carl then. Power Throw, where his attack goes out and returns faster, or Protective Pirouette, where he receives reduced damage during his super.
So Protective Pirouette has been getting a lot of buffs recently, and I feel like it's overall much better than his first star power. Although probably usage rate, you're gonna probably see more people using his first star power, right? I'm just gonna tell you this right now. It's one of the best star powers that's going off the radar right now.
Okay, let's go with Piper then. Ambush, where she deals more damage in the bush, or Snappy Sniping, where she reloads faster if she hits her targets.
So right now with that additional damage, this is just so much. I would have to go with Ambush in pretty much any map with even little bushes. Like, you have to go with that. But Snappy Sniping, you definitely want to go with Snappy Sniping in Siege. Same with Heist.
How about Pam? Mama's Hug, where she heals herself and teammates whenever she hits target, or Mama's Squeeze, where her turret deals damage.
So this one's a tough one. Like, it's very controversial, but I have to go with Mama's Hug in most modes, just because that additional heal is just, it heals not only herself but also teammates around her, and that can be pretty significant. Mama's Squeeze, I would say it's more comp dependent. Also depends on the map, whether it has walls where you could actually place that turret, in an area where you can prohibit enemies from going there, and just great for area control.
We got Frank is next with Power Grab, where he deals extra damage for 12 seconds after killing an enemy, or Sponge, where he gains 1.1 thousand health and becomes literally the most tanky brawler in the game.
All right, so Sponge in theory seems really good, but in actuality, Frank really needs that power grab. That 50% power boost whenever he kills someone allows him to go in sweeping sprees and just destroy everybody near him.
BB, Home Run with the faster movement speed, or Batting Stance with the shielding for 30%.
So this is pretty controversial. Both star powers are very good, but I think it's very comp dependent. So if you're running Batting Stance, you want to run it with like a Poco comp, a healer that can keep supporting you and keep you alive. Also, Batting Stance is overall better in Siege, whereas Home Run, personally, I love Home Run over Batting Stance in Brawl Ball. I just feel like I can do a lot more with that speed and be more aggressive, and BB's just a lot more fun as an aggressive brawler for those game modes.
Next we've got Mortis. Creepy Harvest, where he heals when he kills, or Coiled Snake, where he increases that first dash.
So Creepy Harvest has been getting some good buffs, but I would still have to go with Coil Snake as the overall better star power, because you can just do so much. It's a lot easier to get in on enemies and take them out.
Terra! Oh, I'm excited to hear what your thought about this. Black Portal, where she summons a shadow that hurts people, or Healing Shade, where it heals people instead.
So the thing is, Black Portal is not bad. It's not bad, but Healing Shade is just better. It's just better.
So
you can do so much with it. It can not only heal you, if you're at full hit point, it can heal your teammate. You can do so much. You can move it around. You can use it as shield. Just so much utility with it.
Next we got Gene with Magic Puffs, where he heals friendly brawlers around him, or Spirit Slap, where he deals more damage when his super is charged up.
So Spirit Slap is just so good, especially in Lone Star. You really need to use Spirit Slap.
For Spike, Original is Fertilize, where he heals when he's in his super, or Curveball, where it attacks in a circling motion and is more likely to hit targets.
Okay, so overall I would say Fertilizer is better, and I know a lot of pros will disagree with me on this, but Fertilizer, in my opinion, if you're a skilled Spike player, you don't need Curveball. You can use his already fixed pattern to adjust your aim and deal with enemies that are hiding behind walls.
Okay, Crow, where poisoned enemies actually deal less damage, or Carrion Crow, where his attacks deal more damage when they're below 50% health.
Right. So I've been seeing so many people use Carrion Crow in 3v3 when they shouldn't be, because Extra Toxic is much better. That's a 20% damage reduction. Imagine a brawler getting nerfed by 20% damage. You don't
you wouldn't play him anymore. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, right? Not only that, in Showdown, you should always be using Extra Toxic, because survival is more important in Showdown. You want to stay alive as much as you can. The damage reduction is going to reduce damage and allow you to stay alive longer.
Okay, Leon. Smoke Trails, where he moves faster during his only 6-second star or super now. Or Invisi-Heal, where he heals 1000 HP per second during that super.
Alright, so this is a pretty tough one, but Invisi-Heal, you should use that in Showdown because survival is important. And you also want to use Invisi Heal in most 3v3 game modes. You can use your super without even having to worry about getting shot at. You can just run steamroll at them.
Finally, we've got Sandy, where we have Rude Sands, where the Sandstorm either deals damage to players, or Healing Winds, where it heals teammates.
So I would say Healing Winds is better overall, mainly because most maps aren't very bushy, and for pros, they're very good at scouting enemies without having to scout them with vision, right? They can predict, they can work together, much better at dealing with enemies that are flanking around in bushes.
And that is it! Every brawler, we now know the best star power for each one overall, and also situations where one might be better than the other. Dude, Ash, thank you so much for coming onto this channel and sharing this information with us. I feel like I learned a lot from this video.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. It's a big honor.
The honor is mine. You're fantastic. Make sure you guys go check Ash out over on YouTube. Like I said, he's creating some fantastic Brawl Stars content. If you're especially interested in the pro scene and how to really improve your skills, he's definitely one that you're going to want to follow. For now, guys, this is Ash and KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.